When my son said to me about a year ago, we were reading the story of David and Goliath, and he was sitting on my lap, and I said, "Wow, what a hero he is." He said, "No, he's not, Dad." My son is 5. I said, "How come he's not a hero?" He looked at me totally puzzled, and he said, "Well, because he can't fly or wear a cape." That's when I realized we have lost too many heroes in this nation. Heroes are just people who stand and do the right thing. Usually at their own peril, they'll stand and do the right thing. What is it today that America truly believes in? We have very little trust in most of our institutions. But there is one thing that still is 15 points higher at the top of the list on things that America trusts: our military. Our fighting men and women do the things that most of us don't even want to think about. They do it while we're asleep. They do it while we're at play. The point is, they do it because it is their calling. We have asked them to do it. I wanted to find people of honor to be able to show you today. And I wanted to be able to raise money for an honorable group, raise awareness for an honorable group. The group I found was SOWF, Special Operations Warrior Foundation. I would like to introduce you now to the president of SOWF, John Carney.
It's certainly humble this morning to be here in front of all you patriots and great Americans, people that we couldn't do our mission if it wasn't for your generosity and your caring. The Special Operations Warrior Foundation just wants to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we want to thank Glenn Beck for being so supportive to our families, our wounded, and our children. Over the years, some 30 years since we started, when we had the tragic accident in the desert of Iran, when we went over there with our special operations capability at the time to rescue 53 hostages. We had a terrible accident in the desert, and we lost 5 airmen in the cockpit of the C-130 and 3 young Marines in the back of the helicopter. Those brave men left behind 17 children. Today, one of them is a surgeon, practicing surgery in University of Tennessee. But the one thing I've heard time and time again over the years from the commanders of our special operations units, they said the Special Operations Warrior Foundation eliminates one very important concern out of our rucksack, and that is to see that our children get a 4-year college education, no matter where they go, room, board, book, tuition, and all their expenses. Today we have 133 students throughout the country. We have graduated 156. A couple of them are here with us today. They're off the payroll, thank God. And we have 571 children yet of college age that we are committed to fund their full education. This truly could not be done without great, caring Americans like Glenn Beck and you folks here today. In 2005 in Iraq, we lost a brave airman, Captain Derek Argel. Derek had a son 10 months old, Logan, and a wife, Wendy, he left behind. But today with me is Derek's mom, Debbie Argel Bastian. Let me please introduce her to you.
Thank you very much. Folks, this is overwhelming. I'm overwhelmed. God bless all of you for coming today. To our veterans, our wounded warriors from all wars, welcome home. Today I want to talk to you about my family, my personal family, and my family sitting over here, my family in Special Operations. My closest family, the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. I want to tell you a little bit about my son. When he was in the 3rd grade, he came to me, very special little boy. He came to me and he said, "Mom, I know what honor is." And I said, "Honey, what is honor?" He said, "It's your promise. It's your word. You must never, ever break a promise." In the 5th grade, he came to me and he said, "I'm going to promise something." And I said, "To who?" And he said, "To myself. I'm going to promise that I'm going to get into a service academy and I'm going to become the best special operations officer that I can become, the best leader that I can become," in the 5th grade. In the 6th grade, he wrote an essay, Why We Should Honor Our Flag. In that essay, he explained, I'm seeing what's happening here today, and what he said was, although our stars are separated on the flag, they all come together in the blue background, all together under the eyes of God, never to be separated again, as we were in the Civil War. He got his wish. After 2 long years of trying to get in, he got into the Air Force Academy. On Memorial Day of 2005, he threw his hat up into the air at the Academy and he said, "I did it, Ma." On that occasion, he was so very proud of keeping his promise to himself. He decided then to go into a very, very elite group called the Combat Control. This group is called Quiet Professionals. Their motto is, "First there that others may live." Their numbers are very few. They're a very tight family. They're my family. When Derek was stationed at Hurlburt, he met his wife-to-be, the woman of his dreams, Wendy. And their dreams came true when they had a little boy named Logan. When Logan was 8 months old on Memorial Day of 2005, in that morning, Derek was promoted to captain. He could have cared less if you told him you were general that day, because he was on a mission. He was on a mission, and on that mission, with 4 Americans and 1 Iraqi, his plane went down. When Logan was old enough to understand that his dad was not coming ever again to a game or coming home, and his mother explained that the plane could not be fixed, Logan went to his bedroom to get his toy toolkit. He wanted to fix the plane so his dad could come home. And as you heard from Melinda on Glenn's show, even if you're 8 months old, you will never forget this. You learn to walk with it, but you never forget it. Shortly after that, my husband and I were contacted by the Special Operations Warrior Foundation along with Wendy. It was a personal call, and it relieved some of our stress and some of our worry for my son that wanted the very best education for his son. So that was a wonderful call. It was a personal call. These calls continue to all of our children of fallen special ops of all branches. I can't say enough wonderful things about them. They've never turned me down. They allow me to help fundraise. I've attached myself like a barnacle to the bottom of their ship. They can't get rid of me. Why special ops? Because they're always deployed, because our families don't often get the luxury of talking to them or knowing where they were. I didn't know where Derek was. They are names, they're not numbers. We have over 800 kids. And we have what Derek talked about so early on, keeping your promise, a promise that's been kept for 30 years. Today, I want to ask you to listen to their stories and to be very generous. Today, I'm not just holding out my hands, I'm holding out my heart. Please, if it's 8 cents or $25,000, please help. Please go to their website, find out who they are and what they can do. I know now that there's no such thing as a coincidence. There's also no such thing as closure. If Derek were standing here with me today, he would say to you that each of us is responsible for our own destiny and our own salvation. Each one of us is here to fulfill a mission. Please help us fulfill our mission. In closing, I want to read to you what Derek's quote was when he graduated from the Air Force Academy. It is above you. To serve God and country is not a right, but a privilege. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.